Hello and welcome back to Beyond the Deals podcast. I'm your host, Gabrielle Simmons. Today we have Tony Gomez with us with Loan House, and Tony is a badass real estate mortgage broker. Thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, of course. Real quick, I want to mention our sponsor, Builders Outlet. Builders Outlet is your go-to for windows, cabinets, doors, and trim. You can check them out online at buildersoutletco.com or go into the showroom. Go hand select some things. They are here in Denver, Colorado, downtown right by the stadium. So yeah, go check them out. Have you been to Builders Outlet?
I haven't, but
Okay.
sounds like someplace I need to go.
Yeah. And some of your clients, I'm sure looking at doors and windows and things, and trim is a big one for fix and flips. And most of the time that's getting done. So
hmm
yeah, definitely send your folks that way.
Yeah, definitely someplace I'm going to have to start referring people to and
Mm-hmm.
getting everything done there.
Yeah. So Tony, you joined Real Estate Dealmakers not that long ago, and you've been getting incorporated into all of the verified member things, the community, and you've had a chance to come out to some of our events and classes. What do you think is the biggest misconception, right? Because you're here as an expert in mortgages and all kinds of different mortgages you work in, not just your traditional first-time home buyer thing, right? What would you say is like a common misconception or common conversation that you're having with folks where you're getting a chance to educate them on something that maybe they didn't understand about what mortgage brokers do that you're able to offer the community?
For me, I think the most common one is since I'm bilingual, I have to explain everything from top to bottom because there's a conception where they have no clue what is actually needed. So I have to
They
take this
being
stuff.
like the Spanish speaking communities. Uh-huh.
Yeah, so the Hispanic speaking community, it just and it's tough being from a different country, trying to figure out what is what. They don't understand the programs. They don't understand a lot of the basic information. So it's just starting from scratch all the way to getting them into their home and
Mm-hmm.
explaining every step every time that we get to a step and then the next step.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a lot of those conversations myself, and I enjoy those. I enjoy educating every step and being able to get them in a great situation.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit, what does it mean to be a mortgage broker, right? Because when I first bought my first property, I didn't understand what that was, and I definitely didn't understand the difference between a broker and a lender. So just tell us a little bit about that.
So what I do is I will actually work for my client, my borrower.
Mm-hmm.
I don't work for a bank, and that's the main difference. I could choose 50 different banks and get the best product for that borrower.
Mm-hmm.
Where if you're with a bank, all you have is that little square of information or products to give to the borrower.
Right.
So we have a great advantage with that because we find so many more things that we can do and help way more people with.
Yeah, because you can shop it, right?
Correct.
Just like insurance, right?
hmm
If I wanted to get multiple quotes,
hmm
I would go to someone who can broker with different providers. So same thing for you guys, right?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And I do a little bit of insurance too, but I'll
Oh,
usually advertise that.
oh, okay.
So I get to educate folks on insurance also.
Awesome,
Mhm.
awesome. What got you into this business? What made you want to? Because you work for yourself, right? Like
Mhm.
you're an independent, but I guess technically not independent, right? Because you're under Loan House.
Correct.
But no one's telling you when to clock in. You got to show up to an office. You got to do what anybody's telling you to do. It's all self-driven.
Mhm.
You got to find your clients. You got to network. You got to become part of groups to get clients. What made you want to get into this business?
You know, When I was working at a different place, all you could do is sit there, answer calls. You're trying to get educated a little bit, and you don't get that educated in mortgages. What it was is being educated in a system,
Mm.
and that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to make sure that I get into the right position, get education on mortgages and what I can do for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have that option. So just having that flexibility to be able to be there for clients, seeing face to face, just creating a real relationship. That's kind of all what got me in here, and having the flexibility also to be able to take time with family, friends, or just to myself,
Mm-hmm.
and not have to ask a boss or who get denied time to actually spend time with someone.
Right.
It's happened. So
Mm.
quite a few different things that got me into the situation. So
Okay. Yeah, you were looking for the freedom, right?
yeah.
The flexibility and the freedom, and like you said, actually knowing more. What were you doing previously? Where you were?
I was working at a retail shop where you just answer the phone when somebody calls and be like, okay, well, I could do this for you. And that's it. I didn't get to actually meet them,
Hmm.
or it was very rare if I did.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, you hung up there, answer another call
Mm-hmm.
or dial another call. And it's like, boom, boom, boom. So it wasn't like I was creating relationships. I wasn't having any freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't feel like it was the right place for me for having somebody to hover over me.
Yeah.
Um, I figured I could take get business on my own
Mm-hmm.
and take charge, and that's where I'm at.
That's what you've been doing.
Mhm.
I love it. I love it. And I know that that's not an easy leap. Now, is this your first leap into working for yourself? Like prior to this, and then the job prior, you always worked for a company?
Yeah, I've always worked for companies, but didn't leap straight into Loan House. I did
Okay.
leap to other companies that were not the right fit for me.
Okay.
So I struggled throughout the process.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not in the right place, it's pretty tough to get going.
Mm-hmm.
But ever since I started with Loan House, I've really got everything off the ground with the right support. And
Mm.
I'm happy to be here.
That's awesome. And now, are you building a team with Lone House?
I'm starting to.
Uh-huh.
Hasn't really gone too far yet, but because I haven't found the right folks.
Mm-hmm.
So once I find somebody, and I'm gonna go ahead and get it started.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. I love that. I hear great things about Lone House, the company as a whole, and everyone that I meet through there is just awesome and really relationship focused. And I see that's a big difference. Because there's a lot of mortgage lenders,
Oh,
out there.
so many.
It's almost like real estate agents. Like you throw a coin, you can hit an agent or a lender. Um, but loan house agents specifically really stand out, or lenders, brokers really stand out from most that I've come across. What would you say is something, if there was one thing that you wanted people to know when it comes to um, buying a property in more of the traditional way? And we'll talk about investment properties in a minute. But buying a property in the traditional way, what's something that you would want people to know that they don't often know?
Well, a lot of it is a misconception that you need that 20% down.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't. That is not the case.
Mm-hmm.
And, they just need to know exactly what they need to put their ducks in a row with. So I would say those two things right now.
So if I'm coming to you and I want to buy a house and I don't know anything about the process, what's step one?
Step one is I take an application.
Okay.
Um, and in the process, I ask questions to make sure that I put them in the right position and right loan, and make sure that they understand everything. Why am I taking this information? Why do I need 2 years work history? And just knowing what information they have, I could put them in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
Because if somebody wants to purchase their first home, but it's just a starter home, they don't want to be there for 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
then I need to put them in the right situation there. Or if they're like, hey, I'm going to be there for life. Well, let's look at something a little different. So you kind of build that rapport throughout the conversation. That's how I work everything.
Right.
But I just like hearing everything and creating that relationship throughout it, because a lot more things come out than just talking about the loan. I get to know, hey, well, I have kids. We just got married. This is the situation here. So
Right.
it's just creating that relationship.
Looking at the whole big picture of their life, their finances, their goals, and not just the one thing being buying a property.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what you guys really have to look at.
Yes.
And I think it's important to add to that, like, coming to you early is so helpful. Like, if I don't feel ready, let's say I'm thinking in my head, like, oh, I only have a year and a half of tax returns because I was self-employed and now I got this job. And I know you guys want to see, 2 years, W-2. At a year and a half, it's actually a good time for me to come and talk to you, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Because it's early. Yeah, I don't have the 2 years yet, but you can help me actually prepare in the best way, one, for that year 2 filing, right? Because you can look at year 1 and say, okay, well, let's also look at the last 6 months and what the total of this year is going to look like, and what should you be filing on that tax return.
Yeah, I can direct them a little bit. I can't tell them what they should be,
Right.
but I could tell them what they have right now. And if it looks better, depending on what they're doing, or worse, it depends how they want to file the taxes, because I'm not a tax expert. I said I don't want to steer anybody in the wrong direction, but at the same time, I can show them what the numbers are of what it looks like right now. And if it changes for the good or worse, this is what could happen or what you can qualify for,
Right.
or not. But at the same time, they just need to know all the information so they can get ready.
Right. And so if I meet the criteria being income, debt to income ratio, right, and credit score, what could I expect instead of 20% for down payment? What could I probably expect that I need to pay for a down payment to purchase a house?
Well, if you do qualify, I mean, you don't need that 20%. We can be as low as 3%, 3.5%, 5%. If you're a veteran, nothing.
And that's a big deal. Like, and that's a big difference.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah, from 20% even to 5%, if it's 5%, 15% difference. We're in Colorado, like
Oh, yeah, it's huge.
a $500,000, $600,000 home, being median priced. Yeah, that's a really big difference.
Absolutely. And not a lot of people can do that 20% at 100,000 and 500,000.
Right.
$100,000 in the bank. It's no chump change.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And like you said, like VA, do you work with a lot of veterans?
I do work with veterans also.
Awesome. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's a big one. Do you educate them on what that looks like? I know a lot of veterans don't even know that there are the opportunities to get into a house with $0. Like, they don't even know that this is something they can take advantage of.
Yeah, some do not know, or they've heard things that it could get into something really low, but yeah, it's nice educating veterans also. It just kind of opens their eyes, like, really? We can do what?
Right.
I've had veterans that thought they could only get to something in 300, and once we went over all their information, they were qualified for 500.
Nice.
So it's a big difference in what you see in the picture.
Yeah. And that could be the difference between a school district you want to be in and a school district you don't want to be in for 300,000.
Yeah. Or the size of the home, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Tell me some more about you and your background. What has your journey been like that you would say along the way over the years prepared you mentally for the grit that is required to work for yourself?
Well, ever since, I'll have to start with like around 2006. I was working at a restaurant. My buddy calls me and he's like, hey, I got this job doing mortgages. And at the time, I didn't know what mortgages were. But I was like, set up an interview. I'll see if I can get hired. I don't know what I'm doing at that time, but I started with a place where all we did was refinances, and it was high interest rates. I didn't have to be licensed. But I got to learn a little bit about the business. I was like, I got this. So I went someplace else, a broker shop, for about not very long, to be honest. And then the crash came in, and I was like, oh my gosh.
2008.
Yeah. And I couldn't get anything done. So I went and did various things throughout that time. And I'm just like, wow, this is horrible.
Let's different, like different oddball jobs.
Different oddball jobs.
Outside of mortgages.
Oh, yeah. I try to do work at different retail shops and doing like credit cards and auto refinances and little things like that. Those went awful. I had bad experiences those. And I did restaurant work. I did construction work. I did everything I could get my hands on.
Wow.
And just knowing that, I'm working hard on everything that I'm doing, especially that construction job, man, that was tough.
I bet.
And from when I was younger, I always had, like my mom was telling, it's a lot easier to pick up a phone and do a job like that than to pick up a shovel. So to choose what you want to do. And unfortunately, I didn't always listen, but I learned the hard way.
Got a taste of it there.
Got a taste of it. It's a lot easier to speak to somebody and make a career that way than to sit there and shovel things all day long. So
that physical labor, yeah.
Yeah, so that's how I started getting like, okay, I need to get out of what I'm doing right now and get back into mortgages. I eventually got in with the bank. I was just like a bank executives, account executive. Big title, but I opened up accounts. And from there, like, okay, I need to get back to mortgages. I know that I've really enjoyed doing it. And I finally got back in, and I wasn't in the right places, but I am now, and man, I'm enjoying it.
So do you enjoy the grind, if you will, the having to work to build your own clientele? Like, do you enjoy that part of the business?
I do, because that's where I create the relationships. And that's what I enjoy, and just putting people in the right place and getting them into their home. It's just, there's no other feeling quite like that. It's just, that's a passion that I have to make sure that I do the right thing for them. Along my different jobs and different things that I've done, I had situations where, again, speaking with the Hispanic community, it's like, hey, you just tell them this, but don't show them that. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what kind of a place is this that I'm working at? And it just makes me think of my parents, because they had me as an interpreter as a kid. I didn't know what I was doing. They had asked, how do you not know? You know English. But so it just made me think of, hey, somebody could have been doing my parents wrong back then, and I'm not going to do that ever. So that's kind of a passion that I have, whether it's English or Spanish. I want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing for my customer.
Yeah, no, and that's big. And that having that bigger purpose, right? That you're not just looking at dollar amounts and what you're going to get off of these closings. You're looking at actually serving people and helping them, and especially in the Spanish speaking community, like ensuring that they understand and that they're making a smart decision with your guidance. And so I can see how that really, and it shows in your energy and your passion and how you always show up so positively. It shows that you really focus on serving people and doing it for the right reason. So I can see that it's not tough for you to get out there and find your clients and do the work, because that's the hardest part. That's where a lot of people, they may get into the business, they may get licensed to do mortgages, but maybe they don't stay because it's tough. Any relationship business is tough.
It's a grind. I always tell everybody, as soon as we close, I'm unemployed. I need to go look for another job.
Right, that's true.
Let's go. And it's not, Can't do it just sitting at home. Got to get out there. Got to do the calls. Got to be meet and greets. Just be outgoing and just making it happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Where are you from? Are you from Colorado?
Originally I'm from Mexico.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Lived in Mexico until I was around 5,
Mm-hmm.
and actually grew up in Wyoming.
Wyoming.
Wyoming, oh.
Places.
I didn't know any better when I was younger, but I was like, Wyoming's great. And I go back, I'm just like, I just want to hang out and go back home.
Right.
Yeah, I love being there with family and everything, but Colorado's home. I love Colorado.
When did you move here?
I moved to Colorado at the end of 2000.
Okay.
And haven't left. I like Colorado.
Yeah. Did you go to school out here?
No, I had already graduated, did my schooling, everything. I went to mortgage school here. So.
Mortgage schools, that's a thing?
Well, just the 20 hours. Oh, we have to do. It's nothing crazy.
Okay. I'm like, like real estate school, like a whole bunch of, no.
Yeah,
Not-
no, that's, we go through 20 hours. They go through, I'm not sure.
68 is what they go through.
Yeah, that's a different ball game there.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, I love it. What would you say are some goals that you have, and how do you see our community helping you in those goals?
With this community, it's already helped. I was able to help somebody to purchase their home. It was a great experience. So I've already gotten help here, and not only that, but with education in different areas of construction or with insurance, with so many different people that I've met here already. It's just really nice. I can just come in, shake hands. It's not really hard to meet somebody. It's just really nice. It's a great community.
Good. I love to hear that. That's what I aim to create. And we're actually putting together, I'm glad you're here. It's perfect timing. We just started talking about putting together a Spanish-speaking ongoing class that's going to have multiple parts, but I would love to incorporate you into that.
I would love to be in there.
Yes, it'll be like a speaker panel, and we're going to talk about how to get into home ownership through creative financing. One of our verified members specializes in, and this is totally against y'all, subject to purchasing properties subject to the existing mortgage, which is not ever what you guys in the mortgage space want to be talking about. But that's what he specializes in.
Okay.
Helping families take over other people's mortgages. And yeah, what?
Oh, no.
Oh.
Okay.
Usually when I say that in front of a mortgage lender, they're like, oh, la, like I didn't hear anything.
I think the assumable loans is what he's doing there, but
No, not
No?
assumable. It stays in the seller's name.
okay, so something a little different. But the way I see it, it doesn't hurt me. There's plenty to go around, and if he's doing a good service for people, then definitely I should do it.
Oh, yeah. It is a good service for people, both on the sale side. So in these situations, like if you have a homeowner who let's say I bought this house in Denver, Colorado in 2022, and I bought it top of market. I paid over asking, right? That wasn't uncommon in 2022. And now my house that I owe $520,000 on is worth $480 because that's the market we're in, right? But my husband just got stationed in Alaska, and we got to go. And I can't list it on the market with an agent because we're already upside down. Can't afford to, pay an agent on top of being upside down. Don't want to be landlords. Let's say we have kids and we have life and things and we don't know anything about landlording. What option do we have? Right? So subject to becomes a viable option then for people in this situation, because now this investor can come in and say, all right, well, I'm just going to take over your mortgage because you have a 3.5% interest rate because you bought it in 2022, right? You got a low interest rate. Monthly payments are lower than I would get otherwise trying to go buy a property. And And so I'll just take it over. I'll pay you guys $5,000 to help with your moving, and I'm just going to take over your mortgage. The investor now controls the property by taking the title, and mortgage stays in seller's name. Seller gets $5,000. They walk away. Now, what is the problem with this from a mortgage perspective, right? There's what's called the due on sale clause, which says that in the event that title transfers names, the mortgage company, the lien holder, has the right to call that note due in full, right? Which the mortgage company has that right. However, they don't typically exercise that right. So that's the loophole, if you will, to this strategy of buying it subject to the existing mortgage, is that and really the loophole is paperwork, is contractually how they usually take title in a trust. So
gotcha.
it appears like it's just estate planning, not like it's this investor buying this property, but it's just being transferred into a trust. And there's a couple other ways contractually that they make it appear very clean so that the mortgage holder doesn't say, hey,
notice.
doesn't say, hey, you sold this property to somebody else, you transferred title, now you need to pay us in full.
That is creative.
Yeah, it's creative. And so what this gentleman does, his name's Luis, and he helps the Spanish-speaking community specifically understand this as an opportunity to get into home ownership, because a lot of them have capital and maybe they can qualify to buy, maybe they can't qualify, maybe they're ITIN, so it's difficult, but they can utilize this strategy to take over someone else's mortgage, get into a low monthly payment, low interest rate, and home ownership.
Wow, I like it. Yeah, if it's helping somebody, let's get it done.
Yeah. So, I'd love to incorporate you into some of the panels that we're doing, because we want to have these panels that are multifaceted. So, he'll be there speaking about that. We have Monse, who she offers business and interpretation services,
Nice.
just full time. That's her company. We also have a property management company. So for folks who are buying investment properties and want to work with someone in the Spanish community to manage the property for them instead of managing it themselves. She'll be speaking on that. So I would love to have you there and be one of our panelists.
I'd love to do it.
Good.
Yeah, that sounds exciting.
And there's not a lot of that in our community, right?
No.
I'm not Hispanic or Spanish speaking, but a lot of folks think I am because of how I look, I guess. I wish I spoke
You don't have
Spanish.
Spanish?
No, I'm just kidding. I wish. Poquito.
Un poquito.
Yeah. But I see a need for it. I see a need for good people who want to serve and want to be a reliable resource for the Spanish community. Because even if you can have an interpretation service or your kids helping you out, to understand it, it goes a lot further when you can understand it firsthand yourself, without the need for an interpretation provider, because it's being presented in Spanish in their first language.
Yes. So it seems to be a lot more comfortable that way. Even if they do speak Spanish, a lot of them are English. I mean, if they're bilinguals, a lot of them like to speak Spanish and understand a little better that way. And I find that a lot of them like to meet in person so they can see, you can move things around, you can write the numbers, and they kind of like to trust a little more.
Yeah.
That way, which I don't blame them. Not knowing how to go about even getting started. It's better to just get to know somebody.
Yeah. That's how we build the relationships. Person.
And that's why I like it. Build that relationship.
Yeah. What's the goal that you have that we can help you with, or our viewers who are watching, maybe some folks that are local even that want to help you? Tell us a goal that you have in your business.
I'd love to get at least 20 families into a home
Mm,
this year.
amazing.
So with any help out there to put people in the right position to get into their dream home or just their starter home, but in just the path to ownership, I would love any help I can get.
Amazing. Yeah, I love that. 20 this year.
Yes.
All right, we got what? Well, we're almost in June already, man. Oh my gosh. So we
Yeah.
have 7 months left.
Yeah, I'm almost halfway there. So, but
good.
that's my goal is at least 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll help you get. You're almost halfway there. So 10, maybe 12 more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go with that.
Let's do it. All right, you heard it.
Mhm.
Let's help Tony get 10 to 12 more families into their homes.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
Appreciate the help.
Yes. Awesome. Well, I really like how you spoke to one, getting kind of coming in and out of the business, right? Like how you were in it and then the world happened, things happened, 2008 happened, you got out, you dabbled in some other things, you experienced some difficulties, and then you decided to get back in it being mortgages, right? And you took another crack at it, and then you eventually landed where you feel is a good place to be and where you're working for yourself. But I really love that you spoke to the getting in and out of it because it speaks to the resilience that's required. Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah. And I think that's probably why you're successful at it now, is because over all of these years, you said 2006, right? Was when you started in mortgages?
Yeah, I did it for those 2 years and then done. And then got back in 2018.
Yeah. So over the course of all of these years, like you've had to build up that tough skin, if you will, of like, okay, this isn't working. Okay, this isn't working. Okay, this isn't working. And just stay dedicated to what it is that you ultimately wanted and that you now have been able to create, and also create that freedom for yourself, that flexibility. That I hit you up yesterday, like, hey, we're good for our podcast. And you're like, oh, actually, I can be there. Sure. It's, like to have that flexibility, right? To know that like tomorrow I get to decide what my day looks like.
Yes, I love that.
Right. Yeah. So I appreciate that in you because that's what makes or breaks us in the world of working for ourselves, entrepreneurship.
Yeah, absolutely. We gotta fail, but let's see what you do after your fail. Gotta just keep going if you're gonna want to be able to succeed.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
I've done a lot of failing, but I'm doing good now. Well,
Good. I love that. I love it. Well, we will share your information in the show notes. Down below, you guys will find all the ways to get in touch with Tony. Is there anything else you would like to share with us before we go?
I guess there's a lot that I could share, but nothing comes to my mind. Is I do have the passion to make sure that I'm doing the right thing for everyone that I work with. And if I feel somebody needs to work with somebody else, I should tell them that also. But I haven't had that situation. So
No, it's good to know, though, too.
I have a lot of passion. I should like to meet a lot of people that I can help and be able to put them in the right position.
For sure. And I would encourage anyone who's watching who is maybe in mortgages and doesn't speak Spanish, to be willing to reach out and to connect. And
Absolutely.
I'm all about collaboration and
Yes.
ways we can work together, even if you work for another company, but it makes sense. You guys, I'm sure, could find a way to collaborate to split revenues or whatever. And just so long as the client, the borrower, can feel like they're in good hands being with somebody who can speak their first language, if that's the case. And that way, you're helping just ensure that these people feel most comfortable, because buying a home is a big thing.
That's huge.
Yeah. and potentially looking at foreclosure is a big thing, right? And understanding laws and liability is a big thing. And I wouldn't want to go to another country or be in a space where I was making a big decision like that and not have someone who spoke my language
Mm-hmm.
to help me, fully
Yeah.
understand. So I think it's great that we found ways to accommodate, with interpretation services and all of that. But just really anyone who's watching that doesn't speak Spanish and is in mortgages and has Spanish speaking clients that's their first language, like reach out to Tony.
Love to help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it'd be better for the client, the borrower.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that, Tony. And thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Get in touch with Tony. All of his info is in the show notes below. And that is it for our episode today. Until next time.